Let's bring in former air traffic controller Michael Pearson. Michael, you've got firsthand experience with this. I've flown a lot, nearly 5 million miles. But some of the stuff I heard today kind of scares me, like a hotline down for three years. I don't know what Buttigieg and the Biden administration are doing, but it doesn't sound like much. This has been an ongoing problem. What are your biggest concerns?
Well, my biggest concerns are that you had prior administrations that played a propaganda game and did nothing. I'm encouraged to see Secretary Duffy and President Trump actually take these issues head on. Just to let you know, these STARS outage problems, the FAA were well aware of them starting in late 2022 to 2023. They happened in the Los Angeles Basin area. And Los Angeles, quite frankly, is much busier than Newark. They actually did a safety risk management panel to identify the issues and told FAA management at the time, a gentleman named Tim Arell, who's still working as COO of the air traffic branch, and a gentleman named Frank McIntosh, who testified falsely today about some issues in front of Congress, it's my belief. And they had knowledge of this. They had knowledge of the risk, and those individuals at the top downplayed the risk for political reasons. They wanted to move the facility out of Newark. They knew Newark had a hazard. It happened at the Common Eye, N90, which is the radar approach control facility that overlaid Newark. And they did it anyway for political reasons. Is it a risk? Anytime you lose radar, I've had it happen to me many times, well, 8 to 10 times probably, and lost comm procedures too. They call it going dark. It's a scary thing. It definitely causes your heart to beat fast, but they're redundant systems. What the FAA did was move the facility from Newark to Philadelphia without having the redundant systems in place. So there is no safety net.
Michael, the flying public just want reassurances that it's safe to fly. And can you tell them that,
right,
whether it's Newark or
yes,
other airports, because the aircraft themselves have GPS in them, correct? And there are systems in the jets, but also procedures in place for the pilots if they lose communications contact with air traffic control.
Yes, to be clear, the system is safe. There are many redundant systems in place. The problem of it is the individuals that Secretary Duffy and the President are relying on to fix the system are the same people who created the problems, and they've done nothing about it. If I could give any advice, and who am I to give advice to the President and Secretary of Transportation, but I can give clear, objective, unequivocal advice that what they need to do is get away from the deep state bureaucrats, the people that created the problem. It's akin to allowing the inmates to design the security system at a prison. It's insanity. Keep in mind, the FAA has known about these issues for decades. In 2006, 2007, they created a program called NextGen. They've poured $15 billion in it. It's much the same problems that are occurring nowadays. Today, during the testimony in front of Senator Cruz's committee, Mr. McIntosh, Frank McIntosh, made a statement that they had no knowledge, or he had no knowledge of this occurring. That's absolutely 100% incorrect. It can be proven by documents and testimony of people that knew McIntosh actually had a briefing and was told this years ago. So my concern is that the FAA is playing the same old song and dance game, and you have deep state bureaucrats that are lying to Secretary Duffy, probably the current administrator, who has no clue what's going on in the air traffic branch, I can guarantee you that, and they're leading them down a primrose path. These are the same people that created the problem. Only people without a logical background and basis would rely on the people that continually fail to now all of a sudden find Jesus and fix the problem.
Interesting, interesting. Michael Pearson, you got firsthand experience there. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. And it's safe to fly, folks. Don't worry.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate your directness always. And I can kind of guarantee maybe the Secretary of Transportation maybe watches this show occasionally.
I think he does.
I was just going to add, and I'm not trying to get Elizabeth Warren's attention, but what's happened in the New York area with certain airlines and the pricing of flights, I'm not going to use the word gouging, but certainly it's price manipulation, where So people think Newark's not safe, or there have been dramatic numbers of flights cut in Newark. Even if so I was looking at flights. There was a flight that was jacked up to $1,000, a short haul flight that should cost about $300. It's now $1,000 for a coach ticket for a 2-hour flight. There are plenty of seats on these planes. It's not an issue of demand and no supply. It is they're just manipulating the public into believing that it's a problem. And I'd be careful if I was one of these airlines, part of an oligopoly, because you're asking for trouble if you're ripping off the flying public.
Yeah, and Congress better get their act together since it was authorized in 2003. Really haven't done your job, folks, to have it still $15 billion, and it's worse than ever.